there's something I'm noticing, and I want to show you something, but I like at the top of the show. We don't need to do the whole clip because, quite frankly, it's blitzingly dull, as a lot of these right wingers have become. And let me here it is. Bring this back. Okay, all right, calm down. So one of the problems Republicans are running into right now, that's abundantly clear to everyone watching, is that they had all their money on one pony. They were betting on Russia since friggin' 2012. Like they were all in on the idea that Russia is ascendant, that China, it's definitely the dictator of choice. Were they to set up their own, they would use a similar system for their own magic evil kingdom. But Russians are white, so the Republican Party, for some odd reason, fell in love with Russia. The NRA was getting money. Famously, Maria Butina, who came over here and slept her way around Washington, D.C. on direct orders from the Kremlin and passed out cash to, Republican-aligned groups like the NRA. And then that money magically found itself in the coffers of powerhouse Republicans in their establishment, of, Republicans that have been around for a while, and up-and-comers that they had strategically eventually wanted to bag of sand, that golden idol, out of existence. So Russia had a strategy set up, and the Republicans fell for it because under the veneer of family values, they are obviously hedonistic kleptocrats, and what's not to like about Russia if that's where you're from? And they even got their main dude to run in 2016, 2015, started kind of, pushing that up based on the idea that he would be easy to control. He's a bit of a sap, and he wants what Russia got in the future, or at least what it allegedly would have. There's a big chunk of the Republicans that felt about the Russians the way, a lot of businesses like Hollywood, the WWE, some manufacturing companies and the like felt about China, right? So let me show you something. I'll show you an example of this. So most of the conversations that you and I hear, and by the way, you're watching Hal Sparks MAGAt Worldwide. I've been doing this show since the beginning of lockdown, and it's just turned into a wonderful gathering of crazy, like-minded fools like myself who happen to think that the Earth's going to keep spinning, that the world's going to keep on turning, and ain't we lucky we got 'em good times. So this is, I have been called horrible names like enlightened centrist and neoliberal con liberal. I don't know what it is. They make these words up, and then they pretend they have meaning, and then they throw them at you, and they expect you to be upset when you're like, I'm not even sure you know what that means. Anyways, I've been called a bunch of things, but what I really am is an optimist overall, and that's what I'm bringing in here. You have, there is nothing to fear, including fear itself. Interestingly enough, So, my point is that in the lead up to this, around the lead up to the Russian invasion of Ukraine and their war of opportunity against the Ukrainian people and their genocide that they intend to carry out. In the lead up to that, there was this normal, like, oh, well, is this gonna, I don't know, maybe, why would they shouldn't, like those kind of stupid conversations. And Biden came out and said, they're gonna do it. And even Zelensky was like, I don't know, I mean, they do this shit all the time, don't they? And he's like, no, dude, trust me, we've got the intel. We're gonna tell the world we know they're gonna do it, because they're fucking well gonna do it. They're gonna do it. Like, just trust me on this. They didn't do it yet. They're gonna do it. They're coming. Just, you don't send medics to do a military exercise. They're bringing shit to the front that they don't need unless they're going in. We've got pictures. We know. Trust us on this. And indeed, they did. And it was, the only thing surprising about it was how shitty a job the Russians did in attacking a much smaller country. Famously, they have had 3, maybe 4, possibly 6, depending on your definition of a ship, boats sunk by a country with no navy. Run that, yeah. Think about that for a second. Russia has had 6 of its boats sunk, including its premier battleship in the Black Sea, the Moskva, named after Putin's hometown. If you believe the propaganda they put out that he has one 800 square foot apartment and at home that he really hangs out in, and a 1,400 square foot apartment that he uses while he is president of Russia. He makes $140,000 a year. Anyways, he's got a ship though, and it's the Moskva, and that's the one that's kind of his like flagship super ship, and it sank. It sank, and the only argument is whether the Ukrainians sank it or whether Russian incompetence sank it, and they've decided to go with Russian incompetence. Pow! Just amazing. Anyways, so you know, in the reporting about this war, as soon as it was clear that the Russians didn't know what the fuck they were doing, had bitten off way more than they could chew, had been smoking their own stash, and thought this is gonna be a fucking easy ride, right? And started just eating shit almost immediately. The Western news media, not just here, but through France and Germany and most of the NATO and NATO allied countries and Western countries and the UK, all started going, wow, like kind of smile, you know, in the midst of this possible, the horrific aspects of the war atrocities that Russia was committing, the fact that they were getting their ass handed to them was sorry, Doc Spano is correcting me. Excuse me. The great cruiser Moskva was not sunk. It was promoted to submarine. Yes. And if it plays its cards right, it'll end up a reef. Now, think about the coverage that you've seen, not just here, but on your favorite, regular channels that you watch. I'm not talking about the stuff you hate watch. And trolls, you'll have to invert this. You'll have to earn, I know you hate watch me. And thanks for being here. But when you're watching the shit you like, this will be inverted. That when you watch MSNBC, CNN, any like C-SPAN conversations about it in most situations, people are pretty excited about the potential to finally have Russia that's done their adventurism in Chechnya and in Georgia and in Ukraine, and then as soon as they got into Ukraine, he's talking about how they're going to have to denazify and de-Ukraine the whole place. Like, that's not an identity and it has to be wiped out. That's a genocide, and they just announced it. Apparently, yes, for the who's at home, for the bullshit lefties, the faux-gressives, that's colonization. And you can call it modern colonization if it makes you feel better, but it is nothing short of old school, this is a bunch of savages, we need to wipe them out bullshit that you used to decry, you used to care about. But when Russia does it, all of a sudden you're whatever. Okay, so, but most of the people you've seen covering this in the organization, in the shows that you like, more than likely, they're very excited about the positive turn this has taken, that Ukrainians, using gear given to them and gifted to them from the United States and other sources, their soldiers, their people, are using these weapons to drive the Russians out and are ultimately going to reclaim all of their territory back. Mark my words. Now, but there seem to be some people who, I don't know if it was because they were part of the Trump administration, or they had their eye on this nice little villa in Sochi that they were going to get as like part of their retirement plan, or they had investments in Russian oil and gas, and they were counting on China ascendant would need all this fuel to run the world, and they would suck up and get close to that organization by helping Russia float. And they don't seem particularly excited. And I'll show you what I mean. I want you to understand that what interested me in this clip is, this is General Keane, this guy that Fox Business has on all the time. This is called "What the Ukrainians Have Achieved is Nothing Short of Remarkable." Well, that's a That's a very inspiring title, wouldn't you say? And one would guess, perhaps, that the people involved in this clip might sound kind of happily amazed that the Ukrainians are doing well. Let's see.
All right, one thing's for sure, Ukraine's winning. Russia
One thing's for sure, Ukraine's winning.
is losing. And some interesting press reports that there may be splits in the Kremlin. Who knows?
Who knows? There, some interesting reports of the, I don't know.
Anyway, here to talk about it is our mentor, General Jack Keane, retired four-star general, Fox News senior strategic.
Now, does this sound like Fox is just, because Fox Business needs to cover this, that they're bringing Keane on and Kudlow is not interested?
Analyst and chairman of the Institute for the Study of Wars. General Keane, welcome back, sir. You probably saw this. I just want to check it with you. Russia ambassador to the U.S., Anatoly Antonov, military officer.
Yeah, just pretend you don't know who the fuck he is and that you guys weren't smoking cigars together during the Trump administration.
And diplomat.
Whenever he had his other dickhead job.
You may know him. Anyway, he's on state-run Russian TV. This is Russian TV, and he said Americans are pushing us into negotiations with certain conditions, and he mentions three of them, General Keane. First, stop military action.
Yep, sounds good. Stop it. Knock it the fuck off. That's number one. Hey, everything you're doing right now, knock it the fuck off.
As part of this special military operation. Second, move our troops back to where they were before 24 February. And third,
of 2014.
Repent for everything we have done. I love that, repent now. But these kinds of rumors are spreading, splits in the Kremlin, Putin not well. What do you make of it, General Keane?
Could you be less interested? And understand, this is verge of World War III conversation on Fox all the fucking time. That we're fucking around with a nuclear power. They're going to drop us. Like, if you even push these fuckers, they're going to launch the missiles and they're away, hallelujah. They've got their own Martin Sheen, who's, in the dead zone, whatever. That's what they talk about all the fucking time. About, like, you better not fuck with Russia, because they're going to knock you on your ass, and they're tough guys, and they know they've got real leadership. They're macho. They ride bears bareback with their penis out. I don't know how that works, whatever the pictures are. I don't even want to look. But now they're getting their ass handed to them by a bunch of upstarts that, by the way, all of the Trump cabinet, including Kudlow, banked on getting fucked during the Trump second term. They were teeing up Ukraine to get capsized, decapitated essentially, by Russia. They were everything that we're doing that's supporting the Ukrainians, that's giving them a fighting chance. None of that happens if Trump gets in a second term. All the rest of it was going to happen. He was already planning this shit. He even announced a bunch of it. The same stuff he said in the speech before they launched the invasion last year and a half ago when Trump was still fucking president. This was all going to happen. The only thing that wasn't, the only thing that's different is Biden's in and we're sending them a shit ton of gear. And the only person left to stiff arm it is Rand Paul. But this fucker was not only betting on Russia, winning this situation and becoming a primary dominant, gas exporter throughout, Europe, and having kind of a stranglehold where they could use it to squeeze Russia, like two dictatorships from either side, which is basically where Zelensky found himself before the election. Like, they were banking not only on the rise of Russia, but Ukraine getting absolutely screwed in this situation.
You make anything of it, sir?
Well, certainly, it's not surprising that there'd be some discord given what's happening to the Russians.
Discord. Mm-hmm.
These last few months. I mean, it's totally unexpected on their part, and most of the rest of us fairly surprised as well. But look what's happened. I mean, they've lost a battle for...
Look, he's trying to put a positive spin on this. Like, look, we thought they were going to get fucked, but it's actually working. Look at Kudlow's face through this whole piece.
Kyiv, which was their major objective, They're losing the battle for Kharkiv, the second largest city. There's some remnants north of the city that have not withdrawn yet, and the Ukrainians are counterattacking to drive.
By the way, narrator, since they've taped this, those Russians have been routed. The Ukrainians have pushed back all the way to the Russian border.
Them out of there. And their second offensive, the Donbass, which was their major objective that they wanted to accomplish in so-called second phase of the war, has stalled out somewhat. They made some progress in Luhansk Republic, but not in the Donetsk. So here we are at a point, I think, where the Ukrainians, within the next few weeks.
And by the way, most of the pictures I see of this definitely have the Russia parts in red, right? The interesting thing about the graphics on Fox is every time they show Ukraine, it's this kind of like urine yellow color. Like it's kind of this muted, sad yellow.
We'll have an opportunity.
Everything around it is green and happy, but there's this big stain of piss in the middle of Europe.
To conduct a counteroffensive, not just a counterattack, but a counteroffensive to drive the Russians out of the territory, particularly in the south and east that they've occupied.
I swear to God, is it just me? Like, Kudlow looks fucking miserable during this conversation. This is all good news on all fronts. These motherfuckers were sending in, like, rape squads of Chechen soldiers. They were digging mass graves. The people in Mariupol just gave up, but they held thousands of Russian soldiers down there that could have been fighting in the rest of the country just because they were, like, they were able to hold back on Mariupol, keep these people from taking it for this long until the reinforcements arrived, where they could actually leave now after the rest of the place has been destroyed, and Russia's not going to destroy physically any more of it in any major way. Now that the howitzers are making it to the front lines, the Russians don't get any benefit from claiming Mariupol, and the people who were in Mariupol fighting and holding them there kept them focused on that area for a fucking month and a half.
And that opportunity will be there. And it's really very important and critical for...
I don't know if he's falling asleep or he's drunk or he's just like going to throw up.
For the 40 nations that said they're going to help the Ukraine, led by the United States, continue to provide the support they need, because this is obviously a huge opportunity. This will not be easy, Larry. This is not foreordained or anything like that, because the Russians will be on the defense in some of these cities, which favors the defense. And it remains to be seen if the Ukrainians can muster that kind of a counteroffensive.
The Russians that are on the defense in those areas are not the same as, say, the Ukrainians who are on the defense in other cities, because the Russians that are defending Donbass and Crimea in those areas aren't from those areas. They're from Russia proper. So they don't give a rat fuck. It's not their ground.
I am done underestimating them. And what they've achieved is nothing short of remarkable here. So we have a lot in front of us here. The Russians, understand this, they have taken more territory than what they had prior to 24 February, and that's all in the south and in the east. They want to grind down the Ukrainians. At some point, they believe that there'll be Ukrainian fatigue in the West in terms of providing arms and enforcing sanctions, and all of that will be to their favor.
For the record, just in case you don't know, so far, including the 33 billion plus to up to 40 billion that we're providing both in humanitarian aid and military assistance to Ukraine, and the extra like 13 billion we've given them already since the beginning of the war stacked together, the Russian yearly budget for their military is $46 billion. The Ukrainians currently are spending the same amount of money, or having it spent on their behalf, just from America, as the Russians spend on their entire military. Now, a lot of that, half of it, little more than half, is going to humanitarian aid for displaced Ukrainians. But because they failed in Kiev, a lot of those people are coming back to the country. They're not staying out of the country. The only people who are staying out are the people who are in like Kharkiv and other places. It's going to take a long time to rebuild. But a lot of those people are moving back home, and that reinforcement, that money can go to something else. But it's the same amount. It's almost 1-to-1. And that does not include all the stuff that's included from the, France and Poland and stuff that they're giving them, and the Lend-Lease program, which just started. The Russians were freaking out about that today.
Time is on their favor as far as they're concerned. They may go to a ceasefire. Ukraine, I don't know why they would want one under the current circumstances, but the Russians may do it because it freezes the Ukrainians from conducting a counteroffensive.
Yeah, that's under the premise that anybody would accept a ceasefire from Russia right now. You'd be an idiot. That would be a horrifying mistake. Hype train. Look at the hype train flying today. Thank you guys so much. Shadow Woman, thank you so much for gifting the subs on Twitch. That's amazing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Super chat if you can to support the show. That really does help. It really, really does. It really, really does. Also, Venmo is right there if you want to support the show and you don't like all these other things. And thank you. My eternal gratitude to our Patreon folks. I'm going to be in San Diego this weekend. If you're in the area, you can come and bring a guest for free if you're a Patreon supporter. And it's because of you that the rig that I'm taking with me to do the show while I'm there is getting better. So it's not quite there yet, but we're putting it together. I'm putting a fairly decent kit together so the show maintains quality. The only thing I have to get is a good pop-up green screen, but work with me. Give me some time. All right.
And enables the Russians to reposition and rebuild their forces. So, yes.
By the way, you'd be an idiot to assume that a ceasefire from Vladimir Putin that he agrees to is legit in any way at this point. Because effectively, that's what they did after 2014, and they continued to try to push further into Donbass since then.
A lot of momentum here on the part of the Ukrainians, and we've got to see if they can really mount a counteroffensive in the weeks upcoming and be successful to dislodge the Russians in the southern area.
It is reported, sir, that Russians have lost 1/3 of their army in Ukraine. I find that remarkable, and to me that dovetails into some of these reports, unconfirmed to be sure, that there are now splits and divisions in the Kremlin. What you make of that?
What you make of that? It's have you ever seen someone begrudgingly report news like this?
Well, I can't understand how anybody could looking at this who's knowledgeable in the Kremlin, in military, or in the policy, or even in the intelligence arena, and not have some grave concerns about what has been happening on the battlefield. That's because what has taken place is absolutely 180 out from what their expectations are, and certainly there has to be some discord and some disagreement about what the course of action going forward, truly and really should be.
This General Keane dude, who's I guess a regular on Fox, is trying his best to actually be kind of excited about this. Like, he's impressed with how the Ukrainians are doing. He definitely, whether he says it overtly or not, supports what Biden is doing, both with NATO and support directly for Ukraine. He's one of these guys who's like, fuck Rand Paul behind the scenes. You can tell by how he's talking about it, but he's talking this kind of like bored, muted terms because it's Kudlow's show, and look at his fucking face. I mean, he always kind of looks like that, but he's just, I don't know, what fucking house was he expecting to build?
So yeah, that's got to be there, Larry, and I don't think we need to be surprised by it. But listen, there's one man calling the shots here. Despite the disagreements and the discord, I believe Putin, he's in charge 22 years. He is determined. I believe in his mind, Larry, that he still has aspirational goals to attack Kyiv at some point, maybe months later.
Look, and that's the moment that fucking Kudlow wakes up. Yeah, he could take another bite out of that shit.
maybe years later, and topple the government in the country. I think in the back of his mind, he hasn't given up on his objectives. So I believe he's determined, he's committed, and that's what matters, not the disagreement that's going on around him. While that's certainly relevant, I don't think it's decisive.
Well, Putin may have achieved another very important strategic thing, and that is not only has he brought NATO together, not only has he strengthened NATO, but he's expanded NATO. So you've got Finland and Sweden coming into NATO, and Senator McConnell, who was just over there, saying that votes to expand NATO could happen very, very quickly in the Senate.
Yeah, this is a stunning reversal, Larry. I mean, think about this. I mean, Putin went into Ukraine, conducted a...
All right, anyways, you guys get the point. This just fucking gets... This is the... Think about how gigantic... Like, Sweden reversed, like, 200 years of neutrality to finally join NATO because they don't trust Russia to not try this bullshit in Finland and then come for them next. So that's a giant... That's fucking huge. And he's like, well, this might, you know, trying to... that stood out. Yeah, isn't Turkey blocking both? Yes, but they can outvote them. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, exactly right, Sonic Fear. Biden pulls NATO together, and this dipshit gives credit to Putin. Precisely. What they're doing is he's trying the irony pill, but the reality is that because the Biden administration gathered, circled the wagons with NATO and said everybody's got to be on board with this bullshit, or none of it means anything, and you guys are fucking next, which they absolutely are. There is no way, I don't know where anybody fucking thinks that, if we just and there's a bunch of this on the right, and there's a bunch of this on the far, far left, that's where they horseshoe into each other, that they just seem to be under the assumption, under the false assumption that all Putin wants is that little piece of, he just wants to keep Crimea and a little bit of this, and they're just going to take these two places, they're going to declare them as autonomous, independent republics, and then absorb them. And then that's it, man. That's it. Kansas Door says that Finland is ready to slaughter the Russians again. Yeah, I mean, they have more trenches dug than any country in Europe still because of Russia. They have a huge border with them. And by the way, holy shit. So a couple of days ago, there was this, they asked, they were talking to Putin about, Sweden and Finland joining. And he literally said it didn't mean anything. It was no security threat to Russia if Finland and Sweden join NATO. Well, there goes the whole fucking, it's the NATO expansion that caused him to attack Ukraine in the first fucking place. Finland has a bigger border with him than Ukraine does by a little bit. And if they're joining NATO, why isn't that a threat? If it's either NATO encroachment with missiles or it fucking well isn't, why does it matter that it's Finland and with a giant border right next to St. Petersburg or fucking Ukraine? What's the difference? Well, the difference is they were always planning on attacking this, and Finland, it would be a lot less popular to attack Finland first. But after you've claimed Ukraine, and you have all their oil and gas, and you have all their minerals, and you theoretically have a stranglehold on Europe, then you could invade Finland using all those resources in about 10 years in a massive singular push. Just obliterate the fucking place all the way to the water, which is what they missed the last time they tried. That's the theory. It's fucking gross. And the idea, though, that Finland can join NATO, the fact that he's saying that now means it was never about that in Ukraine in the fucking first place. Ugh. It's so sick.